Good morning. On behalf of the director, Susan Weber, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you here to the Bard Graduate Center and those of you watching around the world, either now or in the future.
I don't think your mic is on.
Actually, I think it is. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you all here for Revivalism in the Age of Modernism. Last week, we, or some of us, were in this room for a discussion of the relationship between conservation and history and conservation. And it's very easy, I think, to feel that the historical is conservative. And indeed, I think one of the arguments that Professor Stirton will want to make through this event is, in fact, something that we all feel, for which we don't necessarily need to have read Husserl's 1936 essay on the origin of geometry, which was in turn the subject of Derrida's 1961 inaugural lecture at the Collège de France, and that is that we go forward by going backwards, that the past lives on through us, that the past is not something cut off from the present to which we return as if in a kind of antiquarian adventure or holiday, but in fact the past, like the present, in fact in a continuum with the present, is what is drawn into the future. And on our website now, in our revision section, there is a feature on the subject of counterhistories. And in the revision section in general, we remix productions, products, lectures, essays that Bard Graduate Center has produced over the years. So just leafing through the titles of some of the things in the counter-histories, there's the revival of cloisonné enamel, there's the ideal of the Gothic cathedral in 1852, there's historicism in Zolnai ceramics, there's Le Corbusier and the Gothic, the afterlife of hope, which is a great title, of course, and Kent and the Gothic Revival. That's to say, going back, and there are actually more titles of this sort, going back through the 25 years of Bard Graduate Center exhibitions and publications, one finds that the subject of the revival, of the return, of the recourse to the past by artists and designers and architects looking to make new things for the future, has been a constant subject for the Bard Graduate Center. And so it's a great pleasure in this, our 25th anniversary year, for us to be able to host a symposium on the historical subject that in fact is one of the driving forces of the institution itself. And with that, I'd like to introduce Professor Paul Stirton to begin today's symposium. Paul.
Thank you, Peter. And before I start, I should really say a few words of thanks as well. First of all, to the director and to the dean for approving this as part of our 25th anniversary celebrations. But also I want to thank Laura Minsky for doing so much of the preparation for this. Last night when we were at dinner, I was describing Laura's work, and one of the other speakers said, "I wish we had a Laura," and I couldn't agree more. This symposium would not have arrived here today were it not for Laura. Well, what I want to say at the start of this is that I suppose I'm not seeking to somehow revalidate historicism and revivalism today. And really, throughout the day, I'm hoping that something of the multifaceted aspects of revivalism will emerge, because I deliberately did not adopt a prescriptive approach when inviting the speakers, in that each period, each individual, each region has a range of different reasons why revivalism is important at any one time. So for that reason, I wanted each of those different speakers and the different areas that they're talking about to reveal the distinctive characteristics of revivalism, and therefore its deeper meaning in that specific context.